welcome to the Rock is George podcast. I'm your host, George Dionne, and this is episode 49. Thank you for tuning in at rockisgeorge.com, knac.com, anchor.fm/rockisgeorge, or anywhere that podcasts are streaming. For this episode, I have two special guests, Kurt Deimer and Phil X. Kurt Deimer is a singer and vocalist who's new on the scene. He's teamed up with longtime Bon Jovi guitarist Phil X to put out his debut EP, Work Hard, Rock Hard. It came out last fall, and he's followed it up with a brand new single called Hero, which is a dedication to first responders and military personnel. Kurt and Phil have opened for Geoff Tate, formerly of Queensryche, and currently they're opening for guitar virtuoso Yngwie Malmsteen. I had the chance to catch up with Kurt and Phil a couple days before the tour started. So here's Kurt Deimer and Phil X. If I knew absolutely nothing about Kurt Deimer, how would you describe your music to me?
Very Kurt Deimer-esque. I do it the way I do it. I don't care about fitting into a mold of what people think rock should be like. Coming at you with my own style, with my own vibe, and my own lyrics that will hopefully touch you and make you think. Powerful rock and roll, big guitars, deep, low thunder with hooky choruses that capture the attention of the listener.
All right, I'll buy that. That sounds right.
Have you heard any of the tunes?
I did. I've heard them all. I've heard the EP and I heard the new one, Hero. But before we get to that, let me ask how you and Phil hooked up for this project.
Phil, you want to tell that tale?
Yeah, well, I was, we were all in 2020 and wondering what the hell was going to happen next. And in June, everybody started making music again. So that was a good turn of the page. Chris Lord Algie and I had worked together before, and he just started sending me, I'm working on music, started sending me sessions to play guitars on. And then he sent me this guy. And he sent me, the first one he sent me actually was Have a Cigar. So he sent me that. I was like, okay, so I threw down a bunch of guitars and some background vocals. And then we got Brian Tishy to throw down some drums on it. So the track just sounded insane. So then Chris sends me a mix with Kurt on it. And I was like, what the heck? Like, it was like a voice I'd never heard before. So I was really intrigued because I've done it all, right? I play with Bon Jovi, I sing my own stuff with the drills, and I've played on records from Chris Daughtry to Kelly Clarkson to Chris Cornell. So having this voice in my ears, it was like, wow, this is really different. And then we went from tracking music together to writing music together. And then I felt like, wow, it really stepped up my passion for the project. And then we started touring. Like, what?
Yeah. Everybody said, no, there's no way Phil X will go out on tour with you. He'll be on your music. I said, well, tell me no again. And, you obviously don't know Phil and I are friends now. We met for the first time on the set of that Have a Cigar video that's out on YouTube. So.
And we found out our birthdays are like a month apart.
Yeah, we would have graduated high school together. So we're like long lost brothers from high school that found each other again later in life,
Let's talk about the latest single. You dropped it this week. It's Hero. It's sort of you guys paying tribute to first responders and the military. Is there something that kind of triggered you guys into writing this?
Yeah, where the world's gone in the last few years, and we can't thank the frontline workers and first responders enough, and we wanted to honor them. And when this pandemic hit, we all really, I think I did, found out how much you just take everyday life for granted and the freedoms that you have, and being able to go to the grocery or being able to go get a burger at a fast food chain or whatever it is you want to do. And those folks kept going out there to work, even though we were told to stay at home because this deadly virus was going all over the world. And our first responders, our police, our firemen, why do we take them for granted when in this country it's pretty common sense human beings on this planet need to have some kind of rules and laws, and these men and women that enforce that type of stuff and help us, and our house is burning down, they come to put out the fire. They're our heroes too, and we need to honor them. Military, so we can live in this free country, veterans and current men and women. We couldn't go out and rock or be talking to you now or do what we do without these folks. So we wanted to honor them. And then I wanted people to kind of think in their heads how they can be a hero too every day and make a difference in the lives of somebody else. If somebody finds himself in a crisis, get out of your car, go help that person who might have just gotten in an accident, you know, or help an elderly woman cross the street. Simple things like that every day can make you a hero. So that's what we were trying to convey in our message in that song, and what I think we really have done. So,
well, I personally want to thank you for that song, because my wife is an Army veteran from serving during Bosnia, and I have been in law enforcement for 23 years.
Well,
wow, man.
Thank you for your service, man.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. Please tell your wife thank you for us as well.
It happens everywhere too, because we when we start that song live, because we've been doing it live, and it's really great to see the response in the audience. So I just remember this one moment vividly where he said this, we dedicate this song to first responders, and there was a lady in the front row, and she was like, "That's me."
It's so cool.
I mean, it's the connection is really amazing to see. You know?
Yeah, and I'd like to do more and more as the song grows with people and communities we may hit when we play, and maybe get some local heroes out to the shows, and just start. We're really looking at ways we can continue to help and support all of you that are our heroes every day, and show you our appreciation for what we do, or for what you do. I'm sorry.
Much appreciated.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about your EP. It's Work Hard, Rock Hard. It came out in 2021. You're getting a great response to it. Was that kind of surprising? Because this is your first sort of full release.
Yeah, it's our debut. Came out November 2021. Work Hard, Rock Hard, and were we surprised? Yeah, I mean,
you never know, right? You want to put your work and all your efforts out there, and you obviously you need to see what happens. But I think we worked really hard at crafting the songs so that they were really hooky, and people could connect to the lyrics. It's always great when people can relate. Kurt's always had a great message, and that's another thing that drew me to this project. But yeah, you love it when you get a great response.
Yes.
And then when we play it live, I think when you go and play live, like the whole point since the beginning of anything, Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, the Beatles, anything before that, is you put out a record, you go to play live so people hear songs and go buy the record. And I think that's happened with us. We go out and people hear the songs, and even if they've never heard of us before, and we were supporting Geoff Tate last fall, or we're supporting Yngwie Malmsteen this month, people hear the songs and they go straight to the merch table and buy a CD. So that's very telling right there.
Very encouraging, and it's I'm very pleased with the response. I think the more we continue to put out music, it was very hard to pick what 6 songs we wanted to put out first, because we do have quite a slate already lined up in our pipeline. But we wanted to show what we can do in some different styles on that first EP, and I think we've accomplished that, and I think it'll only continue to grow as we keep releasing more music and people, go back and check out our whole catalog. So I'm very pleased with where we're at right now. Yes.
Last fall, you toured with Geoff Tate, and you're currently starting a tour opening for Yngwie Malmsteen. Are you going to have to pick some other material to play because you only have the 7 songs, or is that pretty much the bulk of your set?
Well, we have the 7 songs plus Have a Cigar we play.
We play 8. Have a Cigar is 1.
And we're actually switching it up. We're adding a song that's going to be on the next EP, just to give the people a flavor of what's to come.
Yeah, and that's starting tomorrow night. It'll give them a little idea of another tune coming off the new EP in August. And we play Hero in the set now, and Have a Cigar, and then we play 5 off of Work Hard, Rock Hard. So we have 8 total with our time allotment on the tour with Yngwie. And we go on right before Yngwie, and we just bring it. and we bring it hard, and makes for quite an evening of rock and roll.
Have either of you guys met Yngwie before?
I was told that we may not.
I haven't met him. If anybody was going to meet him, it'd probably be, but I haven't.
Probably
met
me,
him.
but I don't think. Yeah, I was told that like he has a closed sound check, so nobody's allowed in there but the band and the crew. And then he's just in his room until he goes on stage, and then back in the room. They're like, yeah, don't be surprised if you don't meet him. I mean, that's fine too. We just want the opportunity to go out there and do our thing, and we're getting it, and we have a motto: win the room.
Yeah.
Because they're there to see somebody else. So it makes it a little more difficult to win the room, but that's the challenge and the goal. And so far we've been doing great.
Yep. Every night we go out, we want to play like we're playing at Madison Square Garden. And we say that in our group before we go out on stage. And because that's our goal. And no matter the size venue we're in now, we know what our job is and what steps we have to take to get to that point. Because I don't want this guy playing in small clubs with me forever. I mean, he just came off an arena tour and joins me in Hartford in a small club. You know, I feel bad, but we're on our way.
I don't feel bad, man.
He loves it. He's my brother. He's got my back.
So who else is in the band besides you two?
We have Dango is our drummer from Nashville. Michael Bassos is a guy. He's my bro. We go way back we both lived in Toronto. And we're hanging out back in the early 90s. And I've recorded some crazy guitar stuff on this stuff and a lot of background vocals. And I knew I needed a great guitar player that could sing, maybe even better than me. And I just called Michael up and I said, man, you got to do this tour. So he joined us, which is amazing. And we have Christian Serba on bass, which we had an interesting start of the tour because Christian tested positive for COVID and then ended up having to quarantine. And just like in a rock and roll movie, our merch guy plays bass.
Yeah.
So he learned the set, and we did 4 shows.
Yeah, last week. Nobody would ever know it, but that's part of the story one day.
But you know, it's not just bass, but he plays bass, guitar, and drums. So that's handy to have, right?
Yeah. A utility merch guy who actually slammed it on the bass. So
yeah, and then he would go sell merch.
Yeah.
So and he didn't complain once. This guy is his name is Brendan.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And it was kind of, we were all floored by how he just stepped up to the bass and then went and sold merch and then helped the guys load the trailer. And we're like, wow, this guy, something else.
Rock and roll, man, the show must go on, and
Exactly.
You continue and you just bring it. And we got a great team on the road led by Kyle Gerhardt, our tour manager, our sound engineer, who knows how to bring our style and my voice to life, live, and Phil's guitars and his vocals and mine blending together along with Michael. We got a great hardworking team, and we're all on the same mission.
What's amazing about Kyle is that, and I think this is almost as important as how good the band sounds. As a band, he makes it sound like the record. So when you go see the band and you've never heard of the band, but you hear it sound that good, you're like, oh, I wanna buy this.
He's just phenomenal, and he can do it all, man. He knows more than all of us put together on how to fix things. And we have he knows how to work on our tour bus, whatever we need to keep the show on the road.
Didn't he fix the lights, the bus lights last week?
We got brighter lights now. It's just, he can do it all, man. It's like crazy.
Now, you mentioned Phil just got off an arena tour with Bon Jovi, and John's getting some criticism. The guy's done thousands and thousands of shows. He had one bad show. Do you think the criticism's a little overblown here?
The thing is that it's going to happen, right? It's rock and roll. It comes down to this. Are you playing for the critics, or are you playing for the 15,000 people that bought tickets to the show? And then you have, those people, the fans that are like, wow, that, some of them were very happy about his performance, but he's 60, man. And he's rocking, he gets on stage, he looks great, and he's rocking his ass off. I mean, can you pick it apart? Of course. But I mean, I go to a rock show to just get rocked, and the band was kicking ass. And, what else can you say about that?
We're all humans, and so is John Bon Jovi's a human being too. He's a legend. He's an icon. I wish people would just kind of keep their negativity to themselves, because Phil and I are all about positivity. So that's all I really have to say on that. Phil nailed it.
Kurt, are you a behind the scenes music guy? Because you seem to come out of nowhere. You're touring with Geoff Tate. You got Phil X in your group. You're opening for Yngwie Malmsteen. Your music's starting to pop up everywhere, and you're kind of an older guy. So I have to ask if you've been in the business before.
No, George, I was in the business on a local level back when I was going to the University of Cincinnati till I was 20. And I realized, I wasn't going to go anywhere fast at that point in my life. I was kind of, in my head a lot still and not mature, and couldn't figure out how to do things right. Couldn't even figure out how to finish college, let alone be in a band, and just wake up in the morning and get my act together. So I decided to shut it down. I did the family thing. I have 3 beautiful sons, and I just started my own companies eventually once I got more mature and got my degrees. And I said to myself back then, if I can do this someday, I love it so much. I just suppressed my whole creative side. And I said, if I ever see a sign one day and I can do it and I can do it right, and I can do everything A level and get to the top, then I will do it. And if that chance never comes, it never comes. You have to have faith. And the opportunity came, and I saw the signs, and I got back into it back in 2017 when I got that role unexpectedly at the end of the movie Trading Paint with John Travolta and Shania Twain and Toby Sebastian from Game of Thrones. They cast me at the end for a speaking part. I was just going to do a cameo. And an hour later, I'm planning out my scene with John Travolta. The lights are on me, the camera, action, people everywhere screaming. And I'm all of a sudden in a movie with John Travolta, and that was my sign. And I said, this is really, really crazy. And 2 months later, I end up getting a role in Halloween and get killed by Michael Myers. Then I'm at the red carpet out in LA at the Chinese Theater in October. And it's like, what the hell is happening to me? And I went back to Birmingham and was going to be working on a couple other film projects, or I was. And on one of my days when I was just kind of chilling, this singer-songwriter, Ben Trexel, and my buddies down there I was working on the film with got me together. They said, and he had some songs that he wanted to see if they could make better because his vocals were kind of bland. And I got back in front of the mic for the first time in since I was 20 in 2018 in December. And just been on the fast track ever since, man. I just love it.
Wait, there's no way you sounded like this when you were 20.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Really?
I had pretty good luck. I didn't know that my voice was singing, but I didn't identify with the voice as being special when I was 20, because I was always like the third string. And I was always the first chair percussionist in middle school, I'll tell you that. But I was always the third string singer in my family, because my dad was a baritone in the church choir every Sunday, could sing his ass off.
I didn't know that.
And my sister could have been on The Voice, American Idol. She sang opera. She was in Hair. She was Annie, the lead role in Annie many times, and was a thespian, singer in the family. So I was kind of the third guy, Kurt, fuddling his way through high school, working his ass off. And the one that every mom said when I had a girlfriend, what are you doing dating that loser? That was Kurt back in high school. So, but that's how I suppressed my creative side. I guess you could say I got creative in the oil business. I started my own oil brand and different brands and trademarks, but it wasn't the same as being on stage and watching people's faces light up and putting on the big show and getting in front of a camera and just going outside your body and creating a character that can entertain people. So I'm so happy now, and I'm so relaxed in life that I get to finally do this.
So when can we expect the new EP?
Right now, we're looking at dropping the new EP in August. Hero just came out May 6th and is streaming everywhere. And then we are dropping on Father's Day a song called My Dad. And it's going to be another single with a video. And I think it's going to blow people away all over the world. And I wrote it, in honor and memory of my father, who I lost in 2016. and he was a veteran in the U.S. Air Force. So that's coming out, then the EP in August, and we hope to just keep touring in support of Work Hard, Rock Hard, the new EP, our singles, and get to the fall or winter, and then I hope to shoot another movie over the winter, and maybe a short one in between.
Phil, is there anything going on with you and the Drills?
It's I'm juggling so much, but we nailed down. But we nailed down. We're opening up for Skid Row in the UK for 2 weeks in October, so we're looking forward to that. Probably, I don't know if we're dropping any new music before then. It's just I've been so busy doing so many other things, but we're definitely going out. And Dan, my left wing for life in that band on bass. You know, we have a different drummer every day, so we're hoping to have actually we do have a drummer lined up from the UK to do those shows. So to keep the lights down.
Well, if that doesn't work out, hopefully the merch guy can play drums.
Right?
The merch.
We're going to take Brendan.
I think Phil's taking me with him on tour, and I'm going to help with his bags and his merch, because I'll have nothing to do while Phil's gone, probably. So
Nice.
yeah, we'll have a good time.
Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Good luck on the Yngwie Malmsteen tour, and hope to hear that new music coming out soon.
Thanks, George.
Thank you, George, and thank you for having us. Without you and folks like you, we couldn't get our music heard by listeners all over the world. And thank you for your service. Be safe out there, and give your wife a hug for us and tell her thank you for her service.
I will. I appreciate that. Take care, guys. Once again, I want to thank Kurt Deimer and Phil X for coming on the Rock is George podcast. Be sure to check out their latest single, Hero, on all streaming platforms right now. Check out their 2021 EP, Work Hard, Rock Hard. And if you can get out to the Yngwie J. Malmsteen tour, check them out there. If you like what you hear, make sure you buy a physical copy of the album. Support that artist. For all things Kurt Deimer, check out kurtdeimer.com. And while you're at it, rent Halloween 2018 and watch him get killed. For all things Phil X, check out philx.tv. I also want to thank Chipster PR for making this interview possible. You've been great. I've been George Dionne. I'll see you again soon.